A young woman's dream of studying abroad ended in a brutal murder that shook the world. A young student, full of dreams, moves to a beautiful city for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But just weeks later, she is found dead in her own bedroom, her throat slit, her body partially covered by a duvet. The case that followed would become one of the most shocking and debated murder investigations in modern history. On November 1, 2007, 21-year-old Meredith Kercher, a British exchange student, was found murdered in her bedroom in Perugia, Italy. Her body was partially covered by a duvet, and she had suffered multiple injuries, including a fatal stab wound to the neck. The case quickly became one of the most controversial and widely discussed murder investigations in modern history, leading to years of legal battles, conflicting forensic evidence, and international media scrutiny. What if the first people arrested for the crime weren't the real culprits? What if the investigation was so flawed that it led to wrongful convictions, media hysteria, and one of the most controversial acquittals in legal history? This is the story of how one murder turned into an international legal battle. Perugia, known for its historic charm and thriving student population, was a popular destination for international students. Meredith had arrived there as part of an exchange program at the University for Foreigners. She shared an apartment with 3 other women, including American student Amanda Knox. On the night of November 1, 2007, Meredith had dinner with friends and returned home around 9:00 p.m. After that, she was not seen again. The next day, concerned friends and her Italian roommates attempted to contact her. Her phone was found discarded in a nearby garden. When police arrived at the apartment, they found her bedroom door locked. Upon breaking it down, they discovered Meredith's lifeless body. Meredith had suffered a violent attack. Her throat had been slit. There were defensive wounds on her hands. Blood was found on the floor and walls. A window in a separate room was broken, suggesting a possible burglary. Investigators immediately began collecting evidence, but forensic experts later criticized the handling of the crime scene. Contamination concerns were raised regarding DNA samples and police procedures. Within days, authorities arrested Amanda Knox, her boyfriend Raffaele Sollecito, and Patrick Lumumba, a local bar owner. Knox had implicated Lumumba in a statement obtained under intense police questioning, but he was later found to have a solid alibi and was released. The case against Knox and Sollecito was built on circumstantial evidence, behavioral analysis, and contested forensic findings. Knox and Sollecito were seen behaving in a way some considered unusual outside the crime scene. The alleged murder weapon, a kitchen knife from Sollecito's apartment, was found to contain Knox's DNA on the handle, but the presence of Meredith's DNA on the blade was highly disputed. A staged break-in was suggested, though experts disagreed on whether the scene was manipulated. Despite these uncertainties, Knox and Sollecito were charged with murder and sexual assault. As the investigation continued, forensic testing identified a new suspect, Rudy Guede. His DNA and fingerprints were found on Meredith's body and personal belongings. He had fled to Germany shortly after the murder and was later extradited to Italy. Guede admitted to being present in the apartment, but claimed Meredith was alive when he left. In a fast-track trial, he was convicted of murder and sexual assault, receiving a 30-year sentence, later reduced to 16 years on appeal. Knox and Sollecito were convicted in 2009, but appealed the verdict. In 2011, they were acquitted due to insufficient evidence, and they were released after 4 years in prison. However, in 2014, Italy's highest court reinstated their convictions. This was overturned again in 2015 when the Supreme Court definitively acquitted both of them, citing major errors in forensic handling and an absence of conclusive evidence linking them to the murder. Guede served 13 years in prison and was released in 2021. Despite the legal resolution, the case remains a subject of debate. Some believe Guede acted alone, while others speculate about the involvement of multiple attackers. The handling of evidence, media portrayal, and judicial inconsistencies have left lingering questions, making the murder of Meredith Kercher one of the most complex criminal cases of the 21st century. What do you think? Was justice truly served in this case, or do unanswered questions still remain? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into true crime compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real-life mysteries that shape the world.